good day, beautiful people. On this supposed Christmas Eve, I want to thank you all for watching. If you come in today, I know that many of you may be with your families or preparing for Christmas and whatnot, but here I am. Welcome to Notions at Noon. Today, my question is, can a person still be a good person if they cheats on their significant other or their spouse? Now, for men, for a lot of men, I should say, um, cheating is often ignored and accepted just because they're men and they consider it their biology or a necessity or a need for men in particular, a biological need to be with many women or to always have access to sex and things like that. And so it seems like society has this notion that all self-control can be thrown out of the window when it comes to men because it's just not their biological nature. They just need it, you know. So that's something to be said about that. Now, another question is, are there exceptions? Are there exceptions to quote unquote cheating? Like, say, for instance, if your spouse or your mate can't physically be intimate, there's some type of illness or some type of disability or things like that. So I also wanted to bring the fact that there are many great men that have been known to be unfaithful and to cheat on their wives. This is not specific to men. This is men or women, to be honest, but more so men, because that's the majority that historically have been cheaters. So there's the story of MLK, or Martin Luther King Jr. And it's very wide known and spread that Martin Luther King was a cheater, that he was unfaithful to his wife, Coretta Scott King. In Coretta Scott King's book, from what I have heard, she stated that she was not aware of any cheating. She did not believe that Martin cheated on her. Hi, Abhinash, how are you? I'm in the United States. So Coretta, hi Subash, stated in her book, from what I heard, I didn't read the book, hi Alex, that she didn't believe that Martin Luther King cheated on her. However, there is FBI tapes that I have not heard. I like to say, listen, I haven't heard or read these things. I'm just saying what I heard. I don't know what good big is. I don't know what that is, Shabash. But anyway, there have been FBI recordings and tapes, with that whole COINTELPRO situation where they will record leaders in the Black community. And there were tapes of him with women that were not his wife. And this was actually alluded to in the movie Selma. If you go and you watch the movie Selma, there's a scene or a couple scenes where it is alluded to that Martin Luther King was being unfaithful to Coretta. Like, he would say one thing and then he'd turn around and he would say, oh, he has to leave a little earlier than expected. All right. So Shabash, looking nice. Thank you very much. Mohit, I'm doing well. Thank you, Mohit. You can't have my phone number, sir. I'm married. Hi, madam. Which country? I'm from the United States. I'm in the United States. So yes, in the movie Selma, it is alluded to that Martin Luther King was unfaithful to his wife, Coretta. And so in her book, she says she didn't believe that he was unfaithful. So a lot of that was just, I think, a cover just to not tarnish the movement and whatnot. But if there are tapes and your husband's voice, and again, this was alluded to in the movie Selma, that he was unfaithful, then chances are, he was unfaithful. And she knows it. I think she was just probably trying to save face and save the reputation of the whole civil rights movement and his accomplishments, and which I don't fault her for that. I don't fault her for that at all. However, I think that if it was not true, then the family would have had a lot of pushback to the movie Selma and to its validity. So if it wasn't true that he was being unfaithful to Coretta or he was a womanizer, then I do truly believe that the Martin Luther King Foundation and his estate or his family, they would have made it known that, hey, this is a lie and this is not true. So that's what makes me believe it was actually true. So I think when it comes to a cheating spouse being a good person or a cheating mate being a good person, I think it's two separate issues. Because I know that there's situations where men are married and they could even be happily married, but they cheat on their wives and they don't think anything of it. But see, this is the thing about that, the other side to that. Are you a good person if you are cheating? Because with cheating comes lies, deception, dishonesty. At some point you have to gaslight your mate if you're lying and cheating on them. It's a huge issue of integrity, because you're not being truthful and you're not being faithful. Now, it's one thing if you're in a relationship and you know that it's an open relationship and you both are doing the same things and it's okay. But it's a totally other thing when you are a cheater. And it's not okay to be a cheater and think it's okay just because you're a man, because that indeed is an integrity issue, because like I said, it leads to a whole lot of other things like lying, dishonesty, you gaslighting your mate, and you just doing things that makes them feel like they're crazy when they know what they know. So I'm going to go back and read the comments a little bit. I like to just try to get through what I'm talking about before I read the comments. But that's my topic for today. Is posed more as a question than a statement, because I see both sides and I understand it. However, I don't think it's fair for men to always be the ones to say, oh, it's just a man's nature, and just never think that, oh, well, maybe a woman can love her husband and still cheat, and step out on him. It's just a double standard. Okay, I get it. But more often than not, a woman is called a hoe when she does it, and a man is just said, okay, well, it's just his nature. It's okay. He loves his wife. He's taking care of home. So everything should be cool. And that's not good at all. And I have a very good friend. I'm not going to air him out or anything or say his name. We've been friends for a very long time. So we've had some very candid conversations, because we could be very honest with each other. We weren't, romantic at any, time, or ever romantically involved. So it's just a truly platonic relationship. And he has been very honest with me about how he feels as a man and the things he has done. Now, he is a married man, but he openly admitted that he cheated on his wife, so for me, I was always against that, because I'm like, well, what you doing, so we went back and forth about that. But I said all of that to say this, that men, because they don't deem cheating as such a huge issue, they think it's okay to go out here, and be with other women and share their bodies and themselves with other women, as long as they're taking care of home. So that's my spiel about that. Let's see here. What do we have? Selma was a hard movie to watch, Alex 007. I agree. It had some very hard moments in it that were it's a lot. It's a lot. And to be honest with you, as Black people anyway, I'm speaking from a perspective of a Black person, for us to do a lot of the complaining that we do now, all we have to do is just look back just to see what our ancestors went through. I mean, for them to have gone through all of that, it says a lot. We're still here today because of them. So I don't want to get off too much off topic, but yeah, the movie Selma and Rosewood, they were very, very hard to watch, and a lot of that went on. So you're dealing with some really tough people, because we are the remnants and the we are the descendants of people who had spirits like that, strong spirits like that. What's hidden in the dark will come to light, and you are correct. 2024 has definitely shown that This has been a year of very mind-blowing insight and revealing and revelation. And I think Cat Williams started off the year very strong with that, because he told you, he said, look, y'all gonna hear some things and hear some truths come out this year, and we absolutely did that for sure. And it's not done. I believe 2025 is just going to continue down that path. Do I believe men and women can be friends? Absolutely. Like I just stated, I have a very good male friend, and it's just a matter of the consciousness and the mental state of those two people. Um, my friend and I are both married, even when we weren't married, and we just had a respect for each other. I think that it always has to be um, a level of respect there. I respect him. I respect his wife and his family. He respects me. He respects my husband and my family. So men and women can definitely be friends. I believe so. Now, it might be rare for it to strictly be able to be just friends, and sometimes there may be an attraction there, but for me, there's always going to be attraction. You're going to walk outside every day and find people that you're attracted to. That doesn't mean that you should act on impulse and act on those attractions. I mean, it just doesn't really, for me, have anything to do with just men and women being friends. It's about having self-control across the board. All right, let me go back a little bit. Forgive me, guys. Let me get a second just to stroll down and make sure I'm answering all of the questions, okay? Peace and greetings, Green Light Path. How are you today, my love? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining in on this live. Thank you for tuning into my channel and in support of you. And yes, we are strong people. Absolutely. Next year is the continuation. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, yes, sir. It's a continuation, because it's no turning back now. I mean, what's all the things that have been done have to be undone. As above, so below. And like I always say, there's yin and yang, back and forth, up and down. So this path that we have been on it's in reverse now. Things are going in reverse. The head is becoming a tail, and the tail the head, and the truths will be uncovered. Hello, Celadine. How are you today? Yes, that's true. Seriously, Green Light. Yes, indeed. Yang and yang. Yes, sir. I love watching your channel, Green Light Path. I just love a beautiful mind. I like people who think out of the box, and that's something I've been on for the past few years, trying to get out of thinking in one direction or one path, because that's not enlightenment. You can't be enlightened staying in one box and having one train of thought. Yeah. So the topic of this conversation today was, can you be a good person and still cheat on your spouse, still cheat on your significant other? And is there distinction in that? Is there room for argument on either side? Yes, indeed. Green Light Path, tell me what you think. Can you still be a good person and cheat on your spouse or your significant other? Is it possible? Is it possible? That's what I want to know. You guys that are in the live right now, let me know what you think. Is it possible to still be considered a good person if you are a cheater? Are cheaters good people? Are they integrous people? Are they honest people? Are they dependable people? What you think? Alex 007, no. Alex 007 says no, because if you're doing that, you're probably also doing other things you shouldn't. And I absolutely agree. So what do you think about men saying that just because they cheat on their wives, it doesn't mean that they don't love them? It doesn't mean that they're not going to take care of home and take care of their families. What do you think about men that say it is a man's nature to cheat, so there shouldn't be an issue with it? I agree, it's all about character. I agree, but cheating is so widespread, people just make it seem like it's just the normal thing to do nowadays. Like you say, it's BS, Alex. I agree. But hey, this is the society we live in, a society of major double standards. And unfortunately, if a woman on a mass scale were to be cheaters, and then we would say, oh, it's in our nature, would that be accepted? Would that be okay? And going back to my very good friend, my male friend, to say, like I said, we have very honest conversations. And like I said, he would do some things that were not savory, and I would definitely tell him about it. But he made the comment that men don't want the same thing all the time, meaning that they don't want the same coochie all the time, right? And I said to him, okay, so what makes you think that women want the same pee all the time? And he got quiet. I'm like, come on, let's be fair now. It's a commitment for a reason, because there are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be times that you're feeling each other and times that you're not. There are going to be times that intimacy is good and times that is not. You know, and so it's just like double oh 007 said, Alex double oh 007 said, it's a matter of character. Are you committed to the commitment that you made, even though things may not be going all that great? It's not an excuse to say that, oh, I want something different or variety sometimes, to go out there and cheat on your spouse. It's because they aren't in love and there's no spiritual connection. That might be true, Alex, but some may argue with that that they say that because they're taking care of home and taking care of their spouse, they say that that's love, and it doesn't matter if they go out there and get a little piece on the side. But yeah, it was just funny to me that he said that. He said, men don't want the same thing all the time. Well, why would you get married, and why would you make that commitment if you knew you wanted to be a free agent, putting your stuff everywhere? Like, that's not cool. And especially nowadays, it's not actually safe. There's so many STDs out here. There's flesh-eating bacteria, and people just sticking themselves and letting anything stick them. You got to be very careful out here in these streets. I work in the medical industry. That's where I am right now, because this place never closes. This laboratory never closes. And we see STDs from teenagers all the way to the elderly. It does not matter. Trick, gonorrhea, chlamydia, HPV, herpes, all that stuff. Teenagers, AIDS, HIV. And like I said, all of those diseases in every age range. The youngest person I've seen with AIDS was 17 years old. 17. And I have seen people geriatric age, people that are in nursing homes, and the samples come across my desk and they have trick. So it doesn't matter. People are out here willy-nilly doing whatever. And there are married people out here getting trick. So if you two are only sleeping with each other, you're in a committed relationship, how in the world are you getting an STD? You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. We got to be careful out here, y'all. It's serious. We think that it's cool to be cheating and having these sneaky links and all of this stuff, but and side pieces, it's become the norm. But it's also becoming the norm for STDs to be rampant, no matter the age. Real talk. So, okay, let's see, green light. It depends, because some people have insecurities and some people don't. And some people believe cheaters are always dishonest, and that's not always true. It starts at home, first upbringing. And so, yeah, I agree. It does have a lot to do with what you see. And so we've seen our parents, and unfortunately, a lot of the times we've seen our mothers put up with cheating. And we're looking at it as children like, okay, well, is this normal? Is it okay for daddy to have another family across town? And then you continue that cycle. All right. Most women these days can make their own money. So that's pretty much a line most men use to manipulate and gaslight. If you're in a committed relationship, stay true to your word or leave. And I absolutely agree, because that's how a lot of people get hurt, is when you start the lying. Like I said, if you start out as an open relationship, that's one thing, because you both have that understanding that you can do whatever. But if you get into the relationship with the understanding that you're going to be monogamous and committed and loyal to each other, then you open up yourself to a lot of problems and headaches. And that's why you have people with these jealous fits of rage and things like that, because they have been lied to and gaslit. And it's not a good feeling. I've been there. You know, it's not a good feeling to be cheated on and lied to, especially when you're giving your all to someone and you have committed to them and you're being honest and faithful and truthful and you're helping them, you know, achieve whatever goals they have in life. You know, it feels like a stab in the back. All right, green light. Many of these cheating relationships are karmic, etc., spiritually not equally yoked. Yeah, I agree. I agree, because a lot of times I'm going to say, well, some of the times when I've been cheated on, I already knew that the person and I were not equally yoked. I already knew it. Yep. Nice chatting with you. Have a great Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Thank you, Alex007. I don't celebrate the holidays, but peace be unto you. And thank you so much for joining. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And be blessed. And I will see you again, hopefully. Green light path. It can be mental situation too, because mental health plagues our community. Absolutely right. And the lower self in spirituality, it can take control over that person and takes possession into a demon called lust. I agree. And that demon lust is rampant, not just in our community, but across the world, unfortunately. I agree. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I've been on here 21 minutes and I love you all's comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. You don't know how much I do. And I appreciate the fact that you all stayed on topic. I love that. Thank you. So, yeah, again, thank you all for watching. You be blessed. Thank you for your comments. And if you're watching this on the replay, please still continue to leave your comments, your questions, and your concerns. Thank you again. Be blessed, Green Light Path. I salute you, and you all be blessed.